Alright, this is Weapon X Reacts, and we're back with another video, and this is going to be a review of Jurassic World Rebirth. And this film right here was nothing more but a generic cash grab that nobody asked for, and it perfectly shows you just how dead this franchise is. And it's been that way ever since Hollywood tried to reboot it with the Jurassic World movies, and I thought Jurassic World Dominion was hot garbage, as it was just filled with subplots that added nothing to the story. And the fact that they brought back the characters from the original movies only for them to do absolutely nothing ruined the film for me. And it made me decide to just give up on the franchise as a whole. And right now, they decided to reboot the franchise again. And I just want to say that this film is everything wrong with modern Hollywood. And it tells me that it's the perfect time to let this franchise rest for a bit. And I just want to let you know that there will be spoilers in this review. I'm gonna break down the plot of this film. So, a mercenary leads a team of skilled operatives to an island research center so that they can secure genetic material from dinosaurs that can provide life-saving benefits for mankind. But later on, they make a shocking discovery that has been hidden from the world for decades. It's just sad to me that this franchise used to be thought-provoking, especially when you look at how the original film was a critique on corporate greed. And not just that, but the characters made really smart decisions, and I just want to say that Ian Malcolm's speech in the original film is more relevant than ever before. But when the Jurassic World movies came out, this franchise became a parody of itself. And it tells me that these studios care more about making a movie that exists only for the sake of money. And that is exactly what Jurassic World Rebirth is. Just another soulless reboot with a boring story. Scarlett Johansson was just so mediocre in this movie, and her character was nothing more but a generic girl boss. And not just that, but the decisions she makes throughout the film are really dumb, and it completely ruins the movie for me. Oh yeah, and she even said in an interview that she felt objectified by Hollywood and had roles that only suited the male gaze, when it literally gave her the career of being an actress. And to me, this just shows you that Hollywood celebrities are entitled and idiotic as fuck. Also, they even tried to make the dinosaurs scary again, but to me, it just does not work. And it feels more like wasted potential, especially for a movie like this. And I just want to let you know that Steven Spielberg was a producer on the film. And they even brought back the writer of the original film. Like, seriously, this movie could have been a worthy addition to the franchise until they fucked it all up. Also, I will admit that the only thing that I liked about this movie was the visuals, as it was just so well done. Especially when you look at the CGI on the dinosaurs, and it looks absolutely stunning to look at. And even though that this film is massively flawed, you have to admit that this is a well-shot movie. And that is just one thing Gareth Edwards does such a good job at. It's that his films are massive in scale. And you could see that with his other movies like The Creator and Rogue One, which are great movies that I totally recommend you watch once in your life. And while the visuals are great, it doesn't save this movie from being a complete dumpster fire. And to me, it's just style over substance at its best. Oh yeah, and I just want to let you know that the trailer of Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey has already been screened in the cinema. And to me, it looks really good. And it has already become one of my most anticipated movies of 2026. And I would rather watch that trailer again instead of wasting my time with this movie. There is a scene of where a family has to survive a mosasaurus. And while it is an intense scene, it was just so stupid. Because there was no way a person would survive something like that in real life. And it sums this movie up perfectly. Just another mediocre popcorn flick that you would probably watch on a streaming service. I thought Dr. Loomis was a mediocre character, and Jonathan Bailey's performance just didn't work, even if he did a pretty good job as him. But my biggest problem with this movie is that it doesn't even know what to do with him as a character. And this is the same thing with Mahershala Ali as Duncan. And it's nice seeing him do this movie instead of wasting his time with Blade, which is a film that will never come out, and that is a good thing. And overall, one of the issues I had with this movie was that you don't feel emotionally invested into these characters, as they are either just boring or poorly written. And it makes me just hate this film even more, as it is a perfect example of why Hollywood needs to stop with these lazy sequels, as it shows just how creatively bankrupt they are right now. And they will continue on pushing out this crap just as long as you decide to stop supporting these woke movies. And that is what people are doing right now. It's rejecting modern Hollywood. Because they don't give a shit about making good movies now. Now, it's more about preaching the message. That's it. But that does not mean you should not support good cinema. Because the greatness that Hollywood has had is all in the past. So don't waste your time with Jurassic World Rebirth. And instead, watch the original Jurassic Park from 1993. This is the rating that this film got on Rotten Tomatoes, so 52% from the critics and 72% from the audience. And I'm gonna be reading out the reviews right now. So for the first review, despite all the talent involved, what this franchise needs is to truly evolve or go extinct. For the second review, Jurassic World Rebirth delivers more of the same. And that is exactly the problem. It plays by the franchise rulebook without ever challenging it. for the third review, as superficial entertainment it delivers. But after 7 installments, the question is no longer whether life will find a way, but whether audiences will still be willing to pay to follow it. And I 100% agree with that. Because that's what this movie is. Something that only exists just to be consumed. And as I read these reviews, it's just another great example of how bad this movie is. And even though it's a box office success, it's still a terrible film and a weak addition to the Jurassic World franchise. I'm going to explain the ending of this film. So just as the survivors are able to escape the island, they get confronted by the D-Rex. And just as the helicopter arrives to save them, it gets destroyed. But the rest of the team are able to find a boat. And then Duncan decides to sacrifice himself by leading the D-Rex away with the flare. And I think the reason why he did it is because he's known for being a man who tries to risk his own life to save others. And I just want to point out that while his character is poorly written, Mahershala Ali does a good job with what he's been given. And he makes Duncan someone he could actually care about. And later on, we realize that he has actually made it out, and just as he meets up with the group, Henry starts to point out that the D-Rex was actually an organism designed for climate survival. And then the film ends with him and Zora Bennett agreeing on the distribution of the new medication, making it an open source for the planet. And to me, this ending literally sums up how this franchise is gonna go later on, and not in a good way. And not just that, but it may lead up with a future sequel, which I don't want to waste my time with. I'm gonna show you the trailers of this film, starting with the first one. This film was just a massive disappointment. Like, literally, the writing is all over the place, the story is all over the place, the characters make bad decisions. This is how far this franchise has gotten down. It's literally just do whatever you can to reboot something now. It's lazy filmmaking.
Dr. Henry Loomis, this is Zora Bennett, our mission specialist. Sorry, what mission? This would be a medical breakthrough that could save countless lives. It comes from the largest dinosaurs on the planet. Oh my God. Fortunately for us, all these species exist.
That's an amazing shot.
Can you be ready tomorrow?
I can guarantee your safety. I mean, more or less.
More or less? Who's your guy?
We're the best at moving things and people in and out of places they shouldn't be.
Look up towards Barbados. Avoid government patrol, but there aren't that many anymore.
Why's that?
No one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
This island was the research facility for the original Jurassic Park.
We need DNA from the 3 biggest dinosaurs. Do we have to get a sample from an egg? size of an F-16.
Oh yeah, and I have heard about James Gunn's Superman. That is not a good movie.
These dinosaurs were too dangerous for the original park. We know they're raptors. They're raptors. The worst of the worst. We're left here. Come on! Duncan! We put ourselves in a place we don't belong. Survival is a long shot. What the hell are those? They're helping the Mosasaur. Defend territory, stalk, hunt.
None of what you just said is good.
She just looked like she was just doing this movie for a paycheck. And I will admit that there are some okay action scenes.
On the island we're headed to, 24 species have survived there alone.
Theme park owners did experimental work. Maybe one of the worst ones here.
This scene is literally everything wrong with modern movies. There is no tension at all.
I don't see that every day or ever.
Let's go.
If we get this DNA, millions of lives are saved.
Maybe we should make this quick, huh? Time to move.
We put ourselves in a place where we don't belong. Survival is a long shot.
That's kind of our specialty.
She's scared. She's scared.
We're not gonna let you get hurt, okay?
There was a source. We found it? No, it found us.
In conclusion, this movie was basically the Force Awakens of the Jurassic World franchise. And it was just an absolute mess in every way a film can be. And it's doing pretty good at the box office, making $520 million worldwide, with a budget of $180 million. And it just tells me that this franchise needs to rest. But seriously, they are going to continue on pushing this shit out, no matter what. Because it perfectly sums up that all Hollywood cares about is making dumb franchise movies that will be forgotten about in a couple of years. And overall, this movie was just generic slop made for no one. And this franchise has become just like Marvel and Star Wars. Just franchises that don't even know what they want to be anymore. Because the studios who made these movies don't care about you. And more about destroying everything you love with woke nonsense. And guess what? There is no saving Hollywood because they did this to themselves. And now we will just sit and watch as they continue on falling apart. Also, anyway, that's all I got for today. Go away now and always remember, strike back like a weapon against wokeness.